Well, at any moment now, and this time tomorrow, we could find out who Vice President Harris is picking as her running mate. This against former President Donald Trump. Here's a list of the potential picks. Over the weekend, she reportedly met with Senator Mark Kelly and Governors Josh Shapiro and Tim Walz. The poll showed Trump with a lead that's now below 1%, a big difference from the lead he had over President Biden. That was just a few weeks ago. To discuss where the race stands, we are joined by our panel of undecided voters: Democrat Rhonda Fulgenetti, Republican Mitch Robson, and Independent Daryll Triplett. Wonderful to have you all. Thank you for being here. Daryll, I'd like to start with you. In your view, which potential VP pick would add the most momentum, do you think, to the Harris ticket? Who would earn your vote?
You know, at this point, on the Harris ticket, you know, with the things that's been going on, her campaign to me looks like a bunch of buffoons, and I'm very serious when I say that. Well, when you're talking about Kamala's staff and the Democratic Party, even with the pick with her, to me as a citizen, it just seems to be a very lazy pick, like low-hanging fruit. And, you know, that's why a lot of people are, in my opinion, are leaving the Democratic Party and exploring other things. And, you know, at this point, you know, with me, I mean, they could have picked, you know, anybody for a presidential candidate. They could have picked Miss Rachel with a running mate of Dorothy the dinosaur from the Wiggles, for all I care. At this point, like I said, the way that they did with the whole Megan Thee Stallion thing coming out on the campaign trail, and just the whole buffoonery stuff with that. And I'm not saying that the entertainers are doing their jobs. Okay, it's the pick of her campaign staff, which allowed all this to go on, is a clear picture to me that, hey, you're missing a boat if you're trying to appeal to the Black vote. You're missing a boat. That is not the way to do it. And, you know, I think it's dehumanizing to women. I think it's dehumanizing to people of color that her campaign picked that there. And, you know, I'm just very, very, very disappointed with her, just the way that she came out with the whole thing. So right now with Kamala Harris, you know, I am just not feeling this here. I mean, it's just you know, if I was her, I would fire my whole campaign staff and start all over. And we need a president that's going to address the serious issues of the country today and really address our concerns.
Daryll, what was the move that made you feel the most that way as you watched her campaign unfold, as you watched some of these announcements? Was there a single moment where something went off in your head and you said, enough's enough?
The booty clapping from Megan Thee Stallion, you know, and it was just the rappers that was on there, that, you know, and I think that, yes, that is their job to do that. And I'm not upset with Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not upset with any of the rappers. What I'm upset with is Harris's choice. If you're making a choice like this, you're already the vice president of the United States, and you're running for the highest office of the land, and you're making ridiculous choices like this, then what is to come in the future? And if you say you didn't know that they were going to be on there, which I wouldn't believe that, then you're incompetent then. So again, it takes us right back to the thing is we need a president who is serious about this country, who's going to address the concerns of the people of this country and not be taken like a freaking joke to the rest of the world.
All right, Daryll, thank you for that. Rhonda, I'll turn to you next. So I'm curious, do you think there is a VP pick that may work to counteract some of that messaging? Who do you believe would be the strongest pick and may work to earn your vote?
Hi, good morning, Kelly. How are you? Hi, gentlemen. I really am hoping and rooting that tomorrow in Philadelphia we have Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, on the ticket. I unfortunately disagree with our co-panelists here. I don't think anybody's doing anything buffoonery. I really think that at this point in time, both sides are trying to do the best they can to put their best foot forward. And the question is, do you like what they're presenting, right? And I think on the Democratic side, I think if Kelly gets picked, I mean, these aren't like little candidates. These aren't small people. You know, Kelly is literally an American hero and has done so much for this country with him and his wife. It's actually offensive to hear that that pick would not be a good pick for this country. In addition to that, you have Josh, who has done so much for the state of Pennsylvania. I am from the Philadelphia area. I know what he's done for the state, and I know how hard he can campaign. So I really believe that either one of those choices in my book would propel the Harris campaign to where they need to go, and we could address the issues we wanted to address. My biggest concern about Josh is probably, we have a very big divide right now between the Palestinian contingent and the Jewish contingent. And how does his religion and his faith factor into that? Should it even factor into that? But unfortunately, we need to discuss it. But just bringing it back home to you, I really think that out of this, the candidates that are remaining left, the viable candidates, we have two really strong men who have been devoted to the country for a very long time. And you contrast that with J.D. Vance, who is calling women who can't have children or women who choose to not have children cat ladies. I think if there's buffoonery going on, it's on the other side right now. And as an undecided voter, it's very, very hard to weed through how both sides can't get this right. How do we not have this right at this point in the campaign? It's actually ridiculous to think about what's gone on in the last month. I mean, I'm glad that the Democratic ticket kind of cleaned up the ticket. But on the Republican side, pick Nikki Haley, pick Ron DeSantis, pick somebody that can give that ticket more credibility than J.D. Vance.
How much, Rhonda, would you say her VP pick? Because it sounds like while you may be undecided, you have strong feelings about what's happening during these campaigns. I think most of America does. Actually, I'm very impressed that we have 3 undecided voters at this point, because this is exactly who both candidates want to talk to. So it's fascinating to pick your brains. Rhonda, would there be a VP choice who you would say on the table now for Harris that you would say, if she goes this way, I'm going to support the other side?
I would have to say Kelly. I just think Kelly is just like really what he's done for the country and what he puts forward would probably, swing me that way. Having said that, I love Josh Shapiro. I think he would be a good candidate as well. But if you take a look at Kelly, his record, his demeanor, for all that's holy, I really think we need somebody who has some calmness in this campaign. I think the country needs that. And I think Kelly could give us that. And his life experience and what he's been through and what his wife has been through just adds to his credibility and adds to the commitment he has. I mean, after Trump's assassination attempt, you would think that maybe Kelly would be afraid to do this. And after what his wife went through, you'd be afraid that that family would not want to give back to the country in this way. But the fact that he's willing to do it, I think will sway people across the aisle like me who are undecided, like all across the country. I think he could make a difference.
So we've talked a lot about the left. Mitch, I'm excited to pick your brain and get your perspective on all of this. Do you think the former president going after the Harris campaign, going after some in his own party, is the most effective way to reach out to voters like you? If so, or if not, what would you suggest to his campaign at this hour?
So I would suggest that he go after her campaign. This is politics. This is a presidential race. I just think he needs to go about it in a more tactful way. He's spent a lot of time in the last, week or so, kind of targeting her identity, whether she's Indian American or whether she's Black. And it just doesn't seem to be an effective strategy. I think a way better strategy would just be attacking her plainly, simply on her record of radicalism in the Senate, on her record of radicalism as the vice president, whether it's her support for Medicare for all, Green New Deal, her record in crime, her record as the border czar, as the VP. I mean, Trump has the luxury, I think, in this election cycle of being able to appeal to the median voter in saying, you're with me on these issues more than you're with her. Not every election cycle does the Republican have the ability to do that. Oftentimes, the median voter just ideologically is going to agree more with the Democrat. But Trump, not in every issue, but in aggregate, Trump has her beat on the issues in terms of what voters care about, immigration, the economy. So if he just sticks to that and demonstrates Kamala Harris's record of radicalism, all of her conversations about equity that she constantly promotes, I think that's going to resonate with voters a lot more than, unfocused attacks about her identity, her background. So he should be going on offense, just
okay.
not in this way.
And that's very interesting. So it sounds to me, and I see Daryll nodding at all of this. This is fascinating. When you say that, Mitch, when you say that he is winning on all of these issues, and I apologize, we're a bit short on time, why are you still saying that you're an undecided voter if you feel like he is the clear winner on the issues? Is it style points that make you fearful of voting for Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States? And if so, what concerns you the most about him holding that high office once again?
I guess I'm mainly concerned that while I do think he has her beat on a lot of the core issues, I'm mainly concerned that he's going to be a repeat of his first term when it comes to issues like the national debt, when it comes to spending. I do want to see a president who is genuinely governing with a conservative agenda when it comes to the budget, when it comes to trying to address the national debt. And I think, Trump did not show that he is capable through one term of doing that. I am optimistic that maybe if he surrounds himself with better people, he can do better, but I'm not optimistic about that.
Daryll, I'm going to give you final thoughts here. We only have about a minute left. What do you make of what Mitch just said? I see you nodding. I see you reacting to it. What are your thoughts?
Well, to me, we've always had a deficit problem since the beginning of time. I don't know if Kamala is Monday through Wednesday she's Indian or Thursday through Sunday she's Black. I don't care anything like that. What I care about is the person who is our commander in chief, looking out for the United States of America, looking out for the little man and being fair and equal across the board. And I do not think that, and I'm sorry, I have to be honest, I do not think Kamala Harris is it. I think that the Democratic Party looked at it and said, oh, there's a Black woman. Let's throw her in because I think she's the only one that could be able to possibly beat Trump. And then not looking at it as, would she be a good fit for the people, the taxpayers of the United States of America? Yeah, there is some room for Trump to improve on, absolutely. But in whole, as being an undecided voter, I could tell you right now, she doesn't have my vote yet. And I don't know that she will.
Oh, these conversations are so eye-opening. I wish we had more time. Rhonda, Mitch, Daryll, thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you again soon.